Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Nnamdi Kanu receives legal team in DSS custody. Nnamdi Kanu receives legal team in DSS custody. To my dear listeners, from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has again received his legal team while in the custody of the Department of State Services (DSS), and expressed optimism that the terrorism charges preferred against him by the federal government would be quashed by Court of Appeal. The legal team, on a recent visit granted by the Federal High Court, was led by Chief Mike Ozekome-san and Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who were accompanied by some of Kanu's family members. The visit was to give the detained Biafra Nation agitator feedback on the Court of Appeal's proceedings of September 13, where the legal team prayed the appellate court to dismiss the remaining 7 charges of terrorism and treasonable felony against him. A statement released by Ejiofor after the visit said that Kanu was in high spirit and confident that the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja would discharge and acquit him from the terrorism charges. The lawyer in the statement hinted that Kanu is very optimistic that the trial phase is gradually coming to an end. The statement reads in part, Kanu was enthused by the account of the advocacy and submissions of Chief Ozekome during the proceeding, happy with the panel of justice, and was completely convinced that justice is already in the offing. He unequivocally reiterated his abiding confidence in his dogged legal team, who have always been up to the daunting task. Kanu had, on September 13, prayed the Court of Appeal in Abuja to review the April 8 ruling of the Federal High Court, which struck out only 8 out of the 15-count charge and upheld 7 charges against him. In his appeal dated April 29 and marked CA ABJ-CR 625-2022, Kanu insisted that the treasonable felony charges against him have no basis in law and are applied to be discharged and acquitted by the Court of Appeal. Ozekome, who argued the appeal on his behalf, urged the appellate court to order his release from DSS solitary confinement. Kanu's grouse was that the charge gave unlawful global jurisdiction to the High Court and that it was also failed to disclose the location or date the alleged offenses were committed. A 3-man panel of the Court of Appeal led by Justice Jumai Anatu has, however, reserved judgment in the appeal till a date that would be communicated to the parties involved. the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu has again received his legal team while in the custody of the Department of State Services (DSS) and expressed optimism that the terrorism charges preferred against him by the federal government would be quashed by the Court of Appeal. The legal team, on a written visit granted by the Federal High Court, was led by Chief Mike Ozekome-san and Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who were accompanied by some of Kanu's family members. The visit was to give the detained Biafra Nation agitator feedback on the Court of Appeal proceedings of September 13, where the legal team prayed the appellate court to dismiss the remaining seven charges of terrorism and treasonable felony against him. A statement released by Ejiofor after the confident that the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja would discharge and acquit him from the terrorism charges. The lawyer, in the statement, hinted that Kanu is very optimistic that the trial phase is gradually coming to an end. The statement reads in part, Kanu was enthused by the account of the advocacy and submissions of Chief Ozekome during the proceeding, happy with the panel of justice, and was completely convinced that justice is already in the offing. He unequivocally reiterated his abiding confidence in his dogged legal team, who have always been up to the daunting task. To my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section and let's know